Are you trying to get better at playing octaves on the piano? I'm going to give you 3 keys to success for this, plus a couple exercises. Now, I'm not going to come right at you and say, hey, in 10 minutes, I'm going to make you a master at playing octaves on the piano. That's not going to happen. And anybody that tells you that they can is joking. It will take some time, but you're going to get this. All right, my 3 keys to success on playing octaves is going to be, it's so simple. It is going to take some time, but it's so simple to think. It's going to be one of these things where you just think, I can't do this. This is too hard. But don't worry, you are going to be able to do this. Everybody can do this. This is not beyond anyone out there. And one of the big, most important things is going to be relax that wrist. Relax your wrist. So as you play an octave, watch me play this low C octave. I'm going to do it 2 different ways. I'm going to play it with the claw. Oh, this is the claw. I'm able to play this and I can play all my octaves and it's so easy to play, but guess what? My arm is so tired and my wrist hurts. So I got to relax that wrist. But then what happens? I'm not able to play my notes. This doesn't mean you don't want to have stability in your fingers. Still have stable fingers. They just don't need to be locked into place. This is the other bad move, the crab. You don't want that either. Relax those fingers and relax the wrist, not the fingers. Relax the wrist and you're going to be able to do this. Now the second key here is you don't have to always curve your fingers. This is a misconception. So all of us teachers teach this is curve your fingers, curve your fingers, curve your fingers until you get to larger intervals and bigger chords. Then if you're curving all your fingers, then you may not be able to reach the octave. It's absolutely fine to play this octave here with flat fingers. They just have to be stable and not buckled in. That's 2. The third one, this is not one that is the most fun part. We have to work on it with some exercises. So, relax the wrist, stable fingers, but they can be flat, and let's work on some exercises. And then I'm going to show you what you can do and how you can relax the wrist through these exercises. All right, 2 exercises. They're both very similar. One of them is a C major scale. If you haven't already learned the C major scale, check out my video on that. So C major scale is made up of all the white notes starting on C and going up to C and then back again. Let me demonstrate it once with my left hand. All right, now I do not expect you to be able to play it that fast, especially with a relaxed wrist. So let's take this slow, and as you play the first one, just really relax your wrist. Like let it go loose. I don't mean like pushing your hand down. I mean just relax that wrist, let your hand go loose, and don't feel like you have to keep it in place right now. And then just kind of slowly lower your hand down into the keys and play your octave. Start with just 1 octave. You start with the C octave. Play this with me. You got this? We're doing a 4th thing here. We are training muscle memory. Once you learn how to do this, your muscle memory will take over. It's like riding a bike. You've ever heard that before? Now try this with all of the notes of the scale. I'm going to go really slow with the left hand, then we'll do the right hand. Ready? Go. C. Release, D, release, E, release, F, and keep going. 3 more. Now you may sometimes miss some of the notes. It's okay to make mistakes. Just keep trying. You will keep getting better. I'm going to start with the right hand here. In the middle. Let me give you one other technique, kind of tip here. You see my wrist, my right hand? Here, let me move this microphone up a little bit more out of the way so you can see it better. Do you see the angle of my wrist? Now, the only problem here is this makes my pinky have to go way back here. Now, if you don't quite have a big enough hand, you may have to move your hand out here. But one thing you don't want is you don't want your wrist to be locked into a curved position like this. See this curve in my wrist right here makes it much harder to control my fingers. So I want to try to keep my wrist as straight as I can. So you can bring it out as far as you need to try to play this. And then maybe even lean over a little bit to give yourself more room in your arm. Try the octave scale with your right hand with me. Ready and go. C, release. D, release. E, release. See, I even made a mistake there. My fourth finger, keep going. Last one. You can play this up and down. You can try to play it with both hands together. I would suggest doing one head at a time for right now. That was the first exercise. It was kind of two combined. One is just staying on the octave, on that same octave. Now, we're going to do a chromatic scale, which means you are going to have to play some black notes. Two ways you can play the black notes. Pinky and ring finger. 5 or 4. You can play it with your fourth finger. You can play it with your fifth finger, or for even more stability, if you really need it, you can play it with both fingers. I suggest trying to do the fourth finger by itself if you're going to do that, just to get used to that. Sometimes I will use both fingers on a black note octave, just to give myself a little more stability. So let's try that chromatic scale. Remember, chromatic scales, if you need that, I also have a video on those as well. This is playing all of the notes, all the way from C up to C. All right, try it with me. Ready, go. C, release. Then D flat or C sharp. Then D. I'll play it with my pinky so you can see it both ways. Now I'll use my fourth finger. If you can't reach it with your fourth finger, don't worry. Just use your pinky like I'm doing here. Both ways are perfectly acceptable. If you have a bigger hand, see how my pinky can go back here? It's okay. If you can do that, great. If you can't, don't worry about it. You can do it. You can do this no matter the size of your hand. You may just have to modify. Now try right hand. We're going to go kind of slow. I'm already leaning over to give myself a little space here. Ready, go. C, next octave, D flat, next octave, D, next octave, E flat. Keep going. Keep going. You're almost there. You've got one more. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, let me know. You can also join me in some group classes I do through Take Lessons Live. I've been teaching with them for their group classes for quite a while now, for many years. You can also sign up for private lessons with me, or you can just keep it up with these videos, and if you have any questions, just let me know.